Today we are on our way to Canoe Harbor State Forest Campground, and on the way we cross the parking area for the Mason Tract hiking path. It is a hiking trail that is about 10.3 miles long that runs along the Au Sable River South Branch. Here we are entering the campground, and it looks like maybe there used to be a ranger station or a ticket station for camping here that is no longer in use. It's in pretty rough shape. And here is your typical campground board for registration. Here's the campground information here. It says there are 41 sites, but we only counted 39. It is $20 a night to stay at this campground, and the envelopes are pre-filled out. You just slide them right into the spot there. Just like all the other state forest campgrounds, you have to have the recreation passport to enter the campground. Here is a look at the hiking trail that runs through the campground here, and there is another one that pops out down closer to the water. Now we're going to head into the campground, and as you head in, there is a dumpster that actually is bear proof, but there were no bear warning signs. Here is the first hand pump. The second one here in the campground is actually broken. And there was a sign saying that it can take up to 30 pumps to actually get water to come out. And we are going to test that. This is actually kind of ridiculous
15.
considering the other hand pump was broken. Most people here would have given up by now, which makes me think that's why the DNR hung the sign saying to pump it at least 30 times
30.
instead of just fixing the hand pump.
And it looks
So
a little
there we
rusty.
go, we did get some water to come out.
Ooh.
The campsites here are actually pretty nice. Some of them are squeezed in a little tight with just a couple trees dividing you from the next site, but for the most part they're spaced out pretty well. You'll definitely see your neighbor, but you do have some visual barrier. As we head into campsite number 3, you can see the picnic tables are actually freshly painted, and the fire pits are in really good shape. I will say that not every site was in this condition. Some of them had unpainted and old picnic tables, so it looks like they're going through trying to do some updates. Here are the restrooms, and they're okay. There's nothing special about them. A little bit of odor, but not anything more than you would expect. A little bit of garbage. Random garbage bags hanging there, which you don't get at a lot of them. We're going to continue down through the campground here, since there are so many sites. You can see a lot of these sites are pretty deep and wide. Plenty of area to back a trailer into or pitch several tents. Here is site number 18. And as we head past site number 18, we head over to a parking area for day use. And that parking area for day use has a closed gate, and that is the path to the river. And it is also the path for the local DNR to drive down and do maintenance and whatnot at the other campground. So the path takes you quite a ways down until you finally hit the river and hit the campsites along the river. These are the group sites that you would use if you were a canoeer or a kayaker. They hold 6 campers in a group site. And you can see they're fairly large. Each one has 1 picnic table and 1 fire ring. Here is your registration. typical information. Envelopes also pre-filled out. These group sites are still $20, where a lot of them along the rivers are only $15.
Let's give this one a try
Here
and
is
hope that
the
it's not
hand
dirty.
pump for the group site. This is quite a ways away from the one up in the main
Only
campground, and this one gets water after only 3 pumps. Again, very large area, nice for a group site for people paddling in from the river, or just for a group of fishermen that want to stay down closer to the water. There's the spot where you would put up your boats for the night if you were to be staying here and coming off the river. And there is only one group site that's actually on the river. And here is a map of the river and the actual Mason Tract Pathway that runs right through the campground conveniently. Your typical signage along the river, though it's a little outdated and not quite as visible as a lot of them. There were several canoers and kayakers that passed by while we visited this campground. And we stayed and we had lunch down by the river. On the way back, I found a monarch caterpillar eating on some milkweed plants, which is super nice because you don't see a lot of them around anymore.